Hi guys and welcome back to Slice of Mike. So today I'm talking about a comic that I just finished. I don't think I've ever done a comic review. I've of course talked about them in wrap-ups, but I just wanted to make a video devoted solely to this awesome comic that I just read because it's so good and I want everyone to read it, and it is of course by Image Comics because everything brilliant is by Image Comics these days, and it is volume 1 of the Low series, and it's called The Delirium of Hope. So this comic is set in kind of an underwater, science-y, dystopian world that is falling apart and people are living horrible lives. The main characters in this comic are a family whose last name is Kane. It's the mom, the dad, 2 sisters, and the brother. And when the sisters and the brother are still young, this horrible accident happens to the family. They're attacked by underwater pirates who want what the city that the family lives in has. They want the resources that they have. So they attack the family, they take something very valuable to them, and they also kidnap the girls. This happens very early on, so I'm not spoiling anything at all. The majority of the comic takes place, I think, 10 or so years in the future when the girls are grown up and they've sort of been brainwashed by the pirate king, the pirate lord that took them, and the son has kind of drifted into this very depressing state of existence. To be honest, I wasn't super enthralled by any of the characters. It seems like a series similar to Game of Thrones where you shouldn't really get attached to people because it's a brutal world and people are probably going to end up dying pretty quickly, and there are a few character deaths in this volume that honestly took me by surprise because I was amazed at how quickly people just were gone. They were there and then they were gone. I talked to a few other people that have read this volume and they told me that they were bothered by Stell Kane, who's the mother. She has this really, sometimes obnoxiously optimistic attitude. She says that everything in life happens for a reason, of course, and it doesn't matter what happens to you, what matters is how you respond to it, and your life will be affected more by that than what actually happens to you in life. For me, I think it made sense because I read the introduction by the creator, the writer of the series, and he talks about how when he was in therapy, one of the things that he really learned and that he took away from that was that it's important to have a positive attitude and that really can shape your life and how things happen, how you respond to them. It really has a huge influence on your life. Plus, I did some digging and I found out that there is another character that comes into play in volume 2 who has almost the exact opposite attitude of Stell. Their focus is to completely destroy hope and make sure that no one has any sort of hope that there is a brighter future ahead of them. So I feel like in the next volume, Stell's attitude and this other character's attitude will play really nicely off of each other and they'll be kind of foils for each other, which makes sense and would provide balance that we kind of didn't really have here. But again, like I said, it didn't really bother me very much. The other thing that really stood out to me, of course, is the world building. And in the introduction that I mentioned, the creator talks about how he was influenced to create this world, the sort of thoughts that he had, what inspired him to create this underwater, strange world. I still haven't read a huge variety of comics. I only started reading them when I joined BookTube, which was about 8 months ago, so again, I don't have a lot of experience under my belt, but I just really was blown away by the art in this book. To put everything into perspective, I have never been one to collect single-issue comics. I just would rather wait for the volumes to come out, plus I've never been that into the story that I need to know what happens next, but this series makes me want to collect every issue that I can. It doesn't matter when it comes out, I just need to know what's happening, and I feel like that really speaks to the power of the story, and I think it really shows what an impression it's had on me as a reader and as a reader of comics. The only reason I wouldn't give this 5 stars is because I was kind of bothered by the portrayal of the female characters in this story and the way that they were costumed and dressed, and it seemed a little sexist to me. Not in every scene, to be fair, but in certain scenes the women were dressed in almost nothing at all. They were wearing dish towels, essentially, and it really didn't work for me. It didn't seem like it was done for a purpose other than to just have sexy, nearly naked women in this comic series. Nudity doesn't bother me. I'm not especially sensitive to it, but I feel like if you're gonna do that, you at least have to be equal about it, and you should portray some of the men in the same way that you portray the women, or you should just have them all wearing clothes. Women like to wear clothes too. So for that reason, I would give this 4.5 out of 5 stars because it was a great novel with great world building, decent characters, fantastic story, brilliant art, and just that one small thing that I mentioned that I didn't like. So overall, nearly perfect, and I would highly recommend this for anyone out there. Even if you don't consider yourself to be a comic reader, give this a try because you might just like the story and it might make you a comic reader. It really has that power. I hope everyone likes it because it's great. If you have started reading this series and you're just as excited about the next volume to come out as me, feel free to leave a comment below telling me about your favorite characters, favorite scenes, favorite whatever. We can geek out about it because I love it, and I'll definitely be pre-ordering the next volume in the series. I think it's coming out sometime in the fall, and I just can't wait. So that's going to be it for today. I hope you guys have a great week. I'll be back on Saturday with my fiction wrap-up for August and the first half of September. I hope you all have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye!